Hello, sanibonani molweni dumelang Mzansi Africa, and welcome to your #1 youth show, Expressions. Dimloge ukolosaka lubisi unonkanyezi. Well, mbulekeli, following the recent incidents, matters of mental health and awareness concerning bullying have come to the fore in the wake of bullying scenes from Pagalokupondo, lase Limpopo esikolweni, at Dayveton Ekurhuleni, at Pinetown, at Kzn and Bradfort Freestate, and many other provinces. Eyona nto ibuhlungu ke mbukeli kukuba umfundi uthe wabekanti uzithatha ubomu uyasweleka nxe kusapho. Umbuzo esibuzayo ke namhlanje ongagungqiyo, ingaba wena Azaria xa sijonga izikolo zethu apha eMzantsi Afrika, do they have a zero tolerance policy towards bullying?
Yewona umbuzo esibuzayo namhlanje ohlelweni madlongothi. Hayi ke mbukeli ngibingelele, mina ngu-Azaria wakwaKhoza. Siyithimba le-Expressions, we are deeply hurt by the occurrence of bullying at our schools. Izenzo zobubhoklolo mbukeli ziphazamisa izinhlelo zokufunda kanye nokufundisa futhi zibeka izimpilo zabafundi engcupheni. Ake sibukele lo mbiko olandelayo esohlanganisele umdidiyeli wethu uMziyanda Mbedla.
Untimely death has left many in his rural community shocked. He was allegedly bullied by some of his educators. His fellow learners believe a recent bullying incident involving his report card being published to the entire school may have contributed to the suicide. The school management says Maimela was struggling with various subjects. His classmates and friends are distraught. They witnessed some of the alleged bullying.
He was insulted by those two teachers, and it happened regularly. So
it seems like the reason he took his life, it was because of our teachers who treat us badly or talk us badly to us.
Teachers tell us every time that they are our second parents, but if a real parents who know labor pains will never treat his child like that.
The family says Maimela started showing signs of academic stress recently. They were also informed by some learners that he was constantly bullied by teachers.
He wrote the letters that the teachers were bullying. Okay, so he was not able to come to us and talk to us because he was stressed. Sometimes he had headache and he can't talk. So.
Maimela was described as a reserved and quiet person.
Joseph
was quiet. He would not argue with anyone. If someone tried to argue with him, he would respectfully walk away.
Anga umphefumlo wakhe uJoseph angalala ngoxolo nabanye abafundi abathe basweleka ngenxa yebullying. Kanti ke to help me unpack this discussion in studio, we are joined by Mr. Sfiso Ngobese, who is a director for school safety from Department of Education. Alongside him, we have Mr. Unesongo Matikinga, who is a COSA Secretary General. Thank you so much for joining us on such a heavy topic. I want to start with you, Mnumzane Unesongo. I mean, just reflecting on the incident that just played, it's really sad because unfortunately he died in the hands of bullies. Ingaba mhlambe, from your consultation view, how prevalent, are cases of bullying, and what's the common cause?
No, they are very great in number. In fact, as COSAS, we have been dealing with cases of bullying. Before they get to anywhere else, they start with us, because you have many parents who will make these reports of their learners being bullied and all of that. In fact, we have full access to learners there at our schools. They do send us messages and all of that. So we know them to be one of the greatest challenges that are being faced by many learners in our schools from many provinces. We have specifically identified quintile 1, 2, and 3 schools as the main schools wherein you are going to find greater numbers of bullying cases. So it's mostly the underprivileged learners who go through this very sad and very painful reality.
This is so sad. And I mean, throughout the provinces, abazali bayakhala, abafundi bayakhala. And Mr. Ngobeso ndifuna ukuza kuwe because I mean, this is really a serious matter where, you know, abazali bengcwaba abantwana babo because of bullying. What sort of policy measures do you have in place to ensure that you address, and not only address, but usipula nengcambu lomkhuba?
Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Thank you very much for inviting us. It's quite sad when we see learners having to, you know, lose their lives because of bullying, because it's not supposed to be like that. But all that I can say is that at a school level, what we encourage schools to have is to have learner codes of conduct, whereby all the rules of the schools with the applying sanctions are actually placed so that the school itself will be in a position to deal with the issues of bullying within the schools themselves.
And I mean, it's even said because in this case we even see teachers besazi into yobana ibullying iphelela nje la kuphela kubafundi, but now we are seeing teachers bebullisha abantwana. Like we had a case ibiqhubeka kwelase Limpopo where a 15-year-old girl was bullied by utitshala wakhe because of her ancestral gift, you know, uthiwa ude wabe umhlubula eklasini phakathi kwabanye abafundi. I mean, if we are going to have employers within good Department of Education, what sort of measures enizenzayo to qinisekisa into yokubana you hold them accountable?
Yeah, it is indeed sad where the bullying is now perpetrated by teachers, especially in the case of our learner that we have just witnessed here. But as a Department of Education, obviously, there are measures that are in place for teachers. I understand that the case from Limpopo is being investigated, and there will be appropriate sanctions that will be sort of given to the teacher, because we are not supposed to have teachers bullying our children.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I mean, with that said, Unasongo, I mean, with the measures that are put in place, do you think they are really effective? Because kudala kukhala bullying. Do you think, I mean, looking at these incidents, are they effective?
No, they are not at all. As COSAS, we have been fighting for peace in our schools for about more than a decade now, more than decades, in fact, because from the very formation of the Congress of South African Students, the main purpose of our formation was that we maintain a unity amongst students. And we're saying that this is no longer, in fact, a matter of the Department of Basic Education alone. It's a state issue. Within the past 2 weeks, I can count about more than 20 learners who were either killed or sent to the hospital because of either bullying, food poisoning, or suicide, you know, and rape in our schools. We're dealing, for example, now with 2 situations in the Eastern Cape. I don't think media has that yet, where a learner got raped and a video was taken of that particular incident happening. She then committed suicide after that. And the second learner, who was a male, got stabbed 7 times by teenagers. So we're saying there's a lot that is happening in our schools. And this thing that we always have of a department responding by giving us spokespersons to address the media, it's not right. We are supposed to have a long-term program that is adopted to spend all the amount of resources that the department has to completely eradicate violence in our schools. So we've been saying that it's a matter of the state. The president of this country owes us an intervention program to make sure that this issue of violence in our schools, of deaths and everything, gets completely eradicated.
This is something that can manifest into a child's adulthood because of that bullying. And, you know, I want to come to you, Mr. Ngobeso, because, I mean, this is a serious issue that will affect in mental health yomntana. What services are available to ensure into yokubana ayimchaphazeli umntana?
Within the schools, we have what is known as school-based support teams. Because we do understand that if a learner has been challenged because of issues of bullying, the actual assistance must come within the school itself. Following the school-based support teams, you also have your district support teams, so that if the matter becomes severe, then it is escalated at a district level. So those are some of the measures that are there, but there are other attempts that the
we will
department...
chat a bit about them right after the break. Bukeli nathi si expression sithi phansi ngokuhlukunyezwa nokuxhatshazwa kwabantu abaxebe i-bullying. Make sure you don't move a muscle, because when we come back, we have a very interesting case study. Dayveton Ekurhuleni, you're watching Expressions.
Welcome back. You're still watching Expressions. SABC 1 Mzansi for sure. If you've just joined us, Mbugeli, today we are talking about bullying at our schools. Umbuzo esibuzayo uthi ingabe imithetho ezikoleni zakuleli iqine ngokwanele na ukuze ivikele abafundi kwizenzo zobubhoklolo. To help me unpack this discussion right now, I'm joined by the Holo family, Valencia Holo and Indodagazi Kzn Holo, and also Indodana Uyugo Holo. Guys, welcome to Expressions.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know today we are discussing a very serious matter. I know that you guys are both victims of bullying. Kzn, I just want to start with you. Just talk me through some of the impediments and the obstacles that you faced at schools when it comes to bullying. What happened?
So bullying is really a lot to go through. There's like a lot of different types of bullying. There's verbal, there's physical, there's social, and way more that like hasn't even been discovered yet. So I was verbally bullied in my primary school and my high school. It's not easy being called names all your life, and for certain things that you do and certain ways that you act, you talk, you dress. And yeah. It's just a lot to go through.
Now, which extent did it reach? Because I understand that you ended up in hospital at some point. You know?
It reached a very high state because it went to a certain level where I wanted to commit suicide. Because I've been bullied since grade 3 up until my grade 7 years. And the suicide happened in about grade 4. Yeah, so it was very bad.
Very sad indeed.
Yeah.
Now, Hugo, I also just want to come to you. You know, as your sisters just mentioned, there are many forms of bullying. You know, there's name calling, and it escalates sometimes to being physically abused. What sort of abuse did you face at school?
I faced verbal abuse. So there would always be kids calling me names, physical abuse, to trying to kick me, tripping me, chasing after me, and just all things like that.
All right, so Valencia, when your kids came to you, obviously to tell you about what was happening at school, just talk me through some of the impediments that you had to see them go through. You know, was it difficult for them sometimes to go to school and wake up in the morning and go to school?
Well, with Kzn, I could see something was bothering her because she started getting migraines. And she would come from school and then she'll just sit in a room. So Kzn is very introvert kind of person, so she would read one book the whole day. So we'd get the books every week from Books. And I could see that there was something weird about Kzn because she would just shut her down in a room. And then there was this time that she just kept quiet for the whole day. And in the morning, she was acting quite weird because she was stumbling around. And I asked her what's wrong, and she just gave me, now she's got a mug that she takes coffee in, or hot chocolate before she goes to school. So she gave me the mug, and I saw tablets in the mug. So I asked her, Kzn, what did you do? So I've got a Schedule 4 and a Schedule 5 because I'm disabled in my right hand. So she took my tablets. So like those tablets, one can knock you out for the whole day. So
and
she's
a child.
She took 5 of those and 5 of the other one, and she started stumbling. And that was the time when I took her to school. So I reached school and I told the teacher immediately, I'm taking her to hospital because Kzn told me she took tablets. And what puzzled me about this teacher, she came to the car and she said she had to interview Kzn. And I asked her, my child is dying and you still want to interview her. How do you get that? And she said, no, she has to find out.
Right on that point, I still want to cross back to Okolosa with Mr. Ngobese to find out what do we do in such a situation? How do we get justice to be served to Kzn? Kolosa?
Thank you so much, Azaria. Mr. Ngobese, you know, I'm pretty sure, I mean, you were listening to the whole incident and case study, which is quite sad. I mean, and what is the way forward?
You know, that is why, as a department, we are saying we want learners to get actual assistance at school. However, if the problem is such that the parent feels that the school perhaps is not doing enough, the parent can escalate the matter to the district office. But I can tell you, Uguti, from the Department of Basic Education, there are policies, and one of the interventions that we are trying to do is to make sure that this becomes part of curriculum, so that it is taught in the class, so that learners, especially the bullies, must know that it is wrong. It's not supposed to be happening.
So, from the show, what do they do? They go to the district office?
In the case, I did not hear the entire story, but I would have loved to find out how did the school assist them, because the first point of authority, especially that is closer to the child, is the school
never assisted them. Even the justice, it failed. So it's like ngoku abaz babatini, they really need a solution.
Definitely, I would advise them that maybe even after this particular show, we can avail our numbers so that we can see what was the intervention from the school, what was the intervention from the district. We would want to make sure that they get assistance.
They should be held accountable, because this is a child ophanze wazibulala ngenxa yalento. Azaria, ndicela ukubuyela kuwe.
Now, ma'am, just to continue with the conversation, I just want to ask you the poll question which we are asking today on the show. Do you think that the rules and the regulations at our schools, are they strong enough to protect our kids from bullying?
Not at all. Not at all. There's actually no system in the school, because they tell you to go to the governing, to write a letter, they're taking it to the governing body, which just gets, it disappears, because nothing actually happened. They made us feel like we were doing something wrong. And nothing happened. It was just swept under the cupboard. Like like at the school that she's now, it happened at that school as well. They took action immediately. Those kids were addressed immediately. Their parents were called in immediately, and they were taken out of the class. There's just certain schools that just feel they can get away with it, and it's just that.
And we hope that the Department of Education will be able to assist us with your point. You're still watching Expressions right here on SABC 1.
Welcome back. You're still tuning into Expressions. Sashukuka kembukeli umba onzima kakhulu webullying ezikolweni. Saqhubeka ke nhleli nazo indwendwe zami Mr. Ngobese naye umnumzana Onesongo. Welcome back. We're wrapping this discussion, and I mean, besides just wanting solutions, we want long-term strategic plans. I do understand, Mr. Ngobese, ukuthi earlier on you did touch indaba yokuthi, I mean, you're looking into introducing a curriculum. Has it started? Abafundi, how do they get access yayo?
Currently, we are busy training subject advisors and teachers, especially now that we are focusing on cyber bullying. We have realized that this cannot just be left hanging. It has to be taught in class so that learners can, appreciate and become good digital citizens. So that is what it's supposed to do. Empower learners within the classroom about the wrongfulness of, bullying other learners.
I am bullied, be it by, my fellow learner, and it's kind of hard for me to report because what do I do? And I'm talking about an emergency response plan, not into bana kuzotwa ambobhala itintini, because at that time awusazi isiqobe singathathwa ngumfundi.
You see, what we've always been saying as COSAS is that there is no such a thing as a good response if you speak about a learner having to report to the district director, to the district official, department head of office. That is not a good solution. It's the worst solution you could ever possibly come up with. But we've instead said each and every school in South Africa must be stationed an independent psychologist that will not be per se working for the school, but working for the better interest of the learners who are within the school, such that if you have people, for example, who's going to say, I'm at school now, it's during classes and I want to kill myself now, the learner could quickly go to a psychologist who has been addressing learners who've been having a comfortable relationship with them, time wherein they can be free to express themselves and all of those things. So it's not long-term solutions that we are yet getting from the department, because these systems of leaders of the department, they're very difficult to access even themselves. Even amongst themselves, they can't access themselves. So we need now a long-term solution to say there must be someone in our schools to work for learners.
There must be someone in our schools. Mr. Ngobese, would you safely say that, you know, as the department, you are doing enough to ensure that you combat bullying? Looking at these incidents and, I mean, the case study we had on second segment?
I would say we are doing enough, but we also understand that there are those schools whose policies are weak. And just like we have had the incident that was related to us, but it is those schools that we are actually encouraging that they must strengthen their codes of conduct so that even the bullies, they don't just get scot-free, but there are measures that each school is putting to ensure that learners who bully others are taken to task.
And it's a responsibility, when Azaria, you know, for all of us. You know, it's not certain organization, but Nati, let's make noise on social media in our schools. Now, your voice iyabethelela.
Mbukeli asikushiyi wedwa namhlanje sikushiya no DJ Gap. Igama lengoma ithi Juluka. Bye bye.
Shake it down for me. Now 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 shake it down for me. Let me see you shake it down when the beat goes. Let me see you shake it down when the beat goes. Let me see you shake it down when the beat goes. Love, love, when the beat goes. Let me see you shake it down. 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 Shake it, shake it, shake it down, bro. Shake it down for me. Now 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 shake it down for me.